Okay. So we move on further ahead. And the next speaker is Dr. Sagar Patil. He will be talking on management of lumbar body fractures. Dr. Sagar Patil.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Sagar from JJ Hospital, Mumbai. I'll be presenting lumbar body fractures, a case series under the guidance of Dr. Vernon Mello, sir. Lumbar fractures account for 25 to 30% of all spinal traumatic fractures. Its incidence is 4 to 5 per lakh population. 18 to 35 is the most common age group with male preponderance. Neurologic injury occurs in 25% of cases, and most common they occur at thoracolumbar junction. Peculiarities of lumbar spine: it has lordotic curve. The discs are large, providing more stability. Spinal canal is wider, and the facet orientation is vertical, causing more flexion and extension. These are the types of lumbar fractures. Our case series included 34 patients older than 15 years of age who were admitted in a hospital with L1 to L5 vertebral body fractures in last 5 years. We did pre-operative imaging studies, intraoperative imaging was done, decompression and instrumentation was done, and patients were followed up in post-op period. I'll be presenting some cases today. The first case is 24-year female. He had history of fall from fourth floor. She came with complaints of weakness in both lower limbs. Power was grade 3 in both lower limbs. On the MRI, we can see the burst compression fracture with posterior compression. We took the patient to OT the next day. Bilateral laminae were exposed. Under fluoroscopy guidance, pedicular screws were put. And upon stabilizing the spine, laminotomy was done. Here we can see upon retraction of the nerve roots, there is a tear in the anterior dura due to impingement of the fractured fragment. We removed the fragment with drill, achieved the hemostasis, and repaired the dura anteriorly by using Duragen and fibrin glue. And the posterior dura was closed primarily with 5-0 Prolene sutures. This is the final construct. Postoperatively, we can see the instrumentation by pedicular screw one level above and below, and the rod construct. This is the patient post-operatively in 1 month follow-up. Patient is now able to walk with support. Second case is 21-year-old male, came with history of fall from tree. Patient presented with weakness in both lower limbs and urinary incontinence. Power was grade 2 in both lower limbs. Here we can see on CT and MRI there was L1 burst compression fracture with multiple bony fragments causing posterior decompression of the spinal cord. We planned a transthoracic approach for this patient. Anterolateral thoracotomy was done and adequate exposure was achieved. The disc above and below the fracture vertebra were removed and the corpectomy, L1 corpectomy was done. Posterior decompression was achieved by splitting the PLL. And the fixation was done using expandable cage, screws, and the rod construct. This is the post-op scan showing adequate decompression and the instrumentation. Third case is 30-year-old male, labor by occupation. He had history of fall from tree, came with bilateral lower limb weakness. Power was grade 2 in both lower limbs. Here we can see the L2 burst compression fracture causing spinal cord compression. Similarly, here we did adequate exposure of the bilateral laminae. Under fluoroscopic guidance, pedicular screws were put 2 level above and 2 level below the fracture. And after stabilizing the spine, laminotomy was done and the dura was exposed. Here we can see the dural tear causing nerve entrapment. Here also anterior dura was torn due to fracture segment. That segment was removed and the dura was repaired with the help of Duragen and augmented with fibrin glue. This is the final picture after dural repair. Post-op scan showing construct with pedicular screws and rod, and this is the post-op video of patient. The power improved post-operatively, and patient was discharged with power of grade 3. Results: the age range was from 15 to 70 years with median age of 34 years. The most common vertebral fracture was L4 in 14 patients and L2 vertebra in 12 patients. Anterolateral thoracotomy and transthoracic approach was carried out in 3 patients for L1 fracture. Remaining 30 patients underwent posterior decompression and stabilization of the spinal column using pedicular screws and rod construct. The mean and median length of the stay in hospital were 29 and 28 days respectively. An early postoperative neurological evaluation showed that 18 out of 34 patients had at least 1 grade improvement on the ASIA scale. Discussion. The goal of the operative treatment are the restoration of the anatomy of the spinal column, including the spinal canal, and to release entrapped neural structures. The decompression of compressing bone fragments over the spinal canal provides a better environment for restoration of neurologic function of the entrapped neural tissues. Appropriate medical and surgical treatment may reduce the neurological damage and improve the overall outcome. To conclude, acute lumbar body fractures can cause major neurologic damage and mechanical instability. There is no consensus on what establishes the paramount treatment for lumbar body fractures. It depends on surgeon's preference. Transthoracic approach can be used for decompression of lumbar body fractures and for lower lumbar burst fractures or fracture dislocations of the lumbosacral junction with neurological injury. Posterior decompression and stabilization and a period of rest and bracing for the preservation of lumbar lordosis are appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patil, for that presentation. Dr. Abhay Kumar, would you like to?
Yeah, Sagar, very good presentation. What I want to know is, what is your criteria? I mean, I think you mentioned in the last statement, what is the exact criteria to do an anterolateral decompression or a posterior decompression in these patients with lumbar fractures?
If there is compression and the multiple fragments are there, and if we can approach it from transthoracic route, then we go for transthoracic route for mainly for L1 vertebra. If there is significant compression, which we cannot achieve with posterior decompression. Stability we can achieve with posterior fixation, but for decompression we go with anterolateral approach.
Another thing I noticed is, in the first case, you have done a very single level fixation. I mean, I think the third or the fourth case, you have done a multi-level posterior fixation. Is there any specific reason, or do you have any specific criteria or protocol for that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, pedicles.
For first case, the fracture was at L2. So if we go with 2 level above and 2 level below, then we will go up to the junction, thoracolumbar junction. So that will again make the spine unstable. So we go ahead with 3 level fixation, 1 level above and 1 level below. And in the last case, there was L3 fracture. So we did 2 level above and 2 level below fixation.
Okay, thank you, sir.